Today we're diving into some of the most provocative science fiction films of the 1960s, movies that didn't just tell stories, but stirred up controversy and even faced outright bans around the world. These films challenged societal norms, political ideas, or religious values, making them lightning rods for censorship. Let's break down each one, what they're about, why they pushed buttons, and where they were censored or banned. At number 1, The Last Man on Earth. This movie follows Vincent Price as Dr. Robert Morgan, who's basically the last human left on Earth after a plague turns everyone else into vampiric zombie-like creatures. Morgan spends his days wandering empty streets hunting these infected beings and desperately trying to survive. The story is bleak and haunting, based on Richard Matheson's novel, I Am Legend. It's about isolation, survival, and what it really means to be human when everything around you has fallen apart. The British censors were so uneasy with the film's grim tone and horror elements that they initially blocked production at Hammer Studios. The filmmakers ended up shooting in Italy after British boards refused the script, highlighting how controversial such apocalyptic themes were during that era. Number 2, Barbarella. This movie follows Jane Fonda as Barbarella, an adventurous space agent sent to find a powerful weapon stolen by the evil scientist Duran Duran. What follows is a wild, surreal journey filled with psychedelic planets, bizarre creatures, and plenty of quirky, campy moments. At its core, Barbarella is a vibrant, erotic sci-fi romp that embraces sexual liberation and pushes back against conservative norms with humor and style. The film is dripping with symbolism about freedom, empowerment, and challenging oppressive regimes, all wrapped in glitter and playful sensuality. In the US, the Catholic National Film Office condemned it for nudity and sadistic imagery, questioning how it slipped past the production code. Meanwhile, Australia heavily edited the film to remove nudity before allowing it in theaters. It's a perfect example of how sexuality on screen was still taboo and could trigger censorship. Number 3, The War Game. This movie follows a fictional Chinese invasion of South Vietnam that sparks a global war between East and West. In Rochester, Kent, panic spreads as the threat of nuclear attack looms. When a missile finally strikes, a blinding firestorm leaves survivors disoriented and terrified. Society quickly collapses under the weight of radiation sickness, destroyed infrastructure, and violent riots over food and resources. What begins as war ends in total societal breakdown. The BBC banned the film from television broadcast until 1985, fearing it was too disturbing and might cause public alarm. When it finally aired, it shocked audiences with its raw depiction of nuclear devastation and won an Oscar for Best Documentary. This ban reflects the uneasy truth governments had about confronting nuclear war head-on. At number 4, Privilege. This film follows a pop superstar manipulated by the government to control and pacify the youth culture. Set in a near-future Britain, it's a sharp critique of authoritarianism propaganda and the dark side of celebrity influence. The film explores how power structures use entertainment as a tool of control, a theme that remains relevant today. While it sparked controversy among critics and progressive viewers, there's no solid evidence that Privilege was banned or heavily censored. It seems to have had a regular theatrical run. Number 5, Wild in the Streets. This movie follows a rock singer who becomes President of the United States after being elected by a youth-driven revolution. Once in power, he pushes radical reforms like lowering the voting age to 14 and suppressing the older generation. It's a dark comedy and biting satire about youth rebellion, political upheaval, and generational conflict. The film exaggerates fears of young people taking over and turning society upside down. Though not strictly sci-fi, Wild in the Streets was banned or censored in parts of the UK and other countries due to its violent themes and radical portrayal of youth-led insurrection. At number 6, They Came from Beyond Space. This movie follows a team of scientists sent to investigate a remote English village plagued by strange events and disappearances. They soon discover that alien beings have infiltrated human society by controlling people's minds, preparing the Earth for a full-scale invasion. The film taps into Cold War-era paranoia about loss of autonomy and unseen enemies hiding in plain sight. It's a tense, atmospheric sci-fi thriller that blends mystery with classic alien invasion tropes, focusing on the fear of losing free will to external unknowable forces. While not officially banned, They Came from Beyond Space faced some mild controversy because its themes of mind control and alien infiltration echoed real-world fears of subversion and invasion. It was released in the UK and internationally without major censorship, but flew under the radar compared to bigger-budget sci-fi films. Number 7. The Creation of the Humanoids. This movie follows a society increasingly populated by androids known as humanoids, who are virtually indistinguishable from humans. As the line between man and machine blurs, the film dives deep into themes of identity prejudice and the nature of humanity itself. The humanoids claim to be more peaceful and rational than humans, leading to tense social and ethical conflicts. It's a thought-provoking exploration of technology's impact on society and what it truly means to be human when emotions and empathy can be programmed or erased. This cult classic wasn't subject to formal bans, but was often relegated to low-budget grindhouse theaters. Its challenging ideas about android rights and human obsolescence stirred quiet controversy, especially as automation and civil rights debates intensified in the 1960s. Number 8. Alphaville. Alphaville follows secret agent Lemmy Caution as he infiltrates a dystopian city ruled by a supercomputer named Alpha 60. This machine enforces a society where emotions, love, and individuality are suppressed to maintain control. Lemmy's mission leads him through a bizarre, bleak world blending sci-fi with film noir aesthetics. The film critiques totalitarianism, hyper-rationalism, and the dangers of sacrificing humanity to technology. It's a poetic and visually arresting meditation on freedom, emotion, and resistance. Though widely acclaimed in art house circles, Alphaville faced limited bans or censorship in some conservative countries, particularly because of its anti-establishment message and bleak portrayal of a mechanized society. Still, it remains a landmark of French New Wave cinema and sci-fi art. At number 9. Seconds. This psychological sci-fi thriller tells the story of a middle-aged man desperate to escape his unsatisfying life. He undergoes a secret procedure that gives him a new, younger identity, only to discover that his second chance comes with terrifying consequences. As he grapples with his new life, The film explores deep questions about identity, existential dread, and the cost of trying to reinvent oneself. It's unsettling, stylish, and deeply introspective, reflecting anxieties about aging, self-worth, and the price of change. Seconds was not banned, but had a limited commercial release due to its challenging themes and avant-garde style. Critics praised its daring narrative and atmosphere, but general audiences found it disturbing and complex. Number 10. Quatermass and the Pit. This film follows a team of scientists who uncover an ancient alien spacecraft buried beneath London's underground tunnels. As they investigate, terrifying psychic forces and inexplicable events begin to unfold, threatening the very fabric of human history and identity. The movie combines science fiction, horror, and mythology, suggesting that extraterrestrial intervention shaped humanity's origins and primal fears. Quatermass and the Pit was widely released, but faced some censorship cuts, mainly to tone down frightening or violent scenes for younger audiences. Despite this, it became a beloved classic of British sci-fi cinema with lasting influence. Number 11. The Mind Benders. This cerebral thriller follows scientists experimenting with mind-control drugs and brainwashing techniques. As one scientist volunteers to test the drugs on himself, he spirals into paranoia and questions about free will, identity, and the ethical limits of science. The film is a tense, psychological exploration of Cold War fears about manipulation and loss of autonomy, raising disturbing questions about what makes us truly human. The Mind Benders wasn't banned, but provoked debate due to its unsettling themes. It was generally released with minimal cuts, but remained a challenging watch for audiences of the time. In conclusion, the 1960s was a decade of rapid change and uncertainty, and these sci-fi films captured that spirit perfectly.